Well, as if the energies in April were not already crazy enough, I am going to talk to you about Jupiter being Gandanta this month and in the first week of May. This is a very important transit, and it really does indicate some heavy karma that we're going to be talking about in this video. For those of you that are new to my channel, make sure that you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get all of my videos. I do videos, monthly predictions, important transits, celebrities, royal family, and politicians. So we do all sorts of videos. My goal is 10,000 subscribers and we're at 2,000. So we're marching along here. So thank you for all of your support. If you're interested in a reading, check down below for details. And also make sure you subscribe to my new channel called Thor Spirit Teachings. I give free meditations that you can listen to help change some of your karma. So some of the meditations have to do with abundance, self-esteem, self-worth. So check them out if you're interested in that. All right, so let's talk about what's going on with this Jupiter being Gandanta. Now, Gandanta means a karmic knot. So that shows you already the heavy karma of what's going on. At the last 3 degrees of Pisces and the first 3 degrees of Aries, that's essentially when Jupiter is what's called Gandanta. So that's what we're talking about today. And these are very treacherous degrees. So let me pull up the slide here. Like I said, it's a karmic knot, and this can indicate very difficult events, especially events that have some feature of water or some feature of fire, since we're dealing with water and fire signs. And this is going to happen in the last 3 degrees of Pisces and the first 3 degrees of Aries, like I said, and it's going to be there till May 5th. So we're already in this Jupiter Gandanta cycle. So not only is this going to bring up heavy world events during this time, this is also going to bring up a lot of interesting events in your personal lives. So for example, water is associated with, emotions, love relationships. So there's a lot of drama that could be indicated here this month. And consider that on April 20th and 21st, we're having all this activity with the solar eclipse. We're having a Mercury retrograde. So this month is going to be rather eventful. Now, these water and fire events that I'm talking about, for example, we saw recently that there were a lot of tornadoes happening in the Midwest. Well, this would be, again, indicating more weather events with storms, tornadoes, hurricanes. I know it's a little early for hurricane season, but I think you get the idea that it's just going to be a difficult time as far as weather events. But this idea of being in the sign of Aries on the 20th, Aries is associated with explosive and fiery events. So it could be also a difficult period with all sorts of type of energetic events. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, I did want to talk about Jupiter so you could get a better understanding of what Jupiter is, because we do know that Jupiter is, in the traditional Vedic astrology, Jupiter is considered the guru of the gods or the teacher of the gods. So he's a teacher and he's responsible, primarily responsible for Dharma and teachings and getting us on the right path in our lives. However, depending on your ascendant sign, Jupiter can be a harsh taskmaster or pleasant, depending on what houses it rules. Now, in a general sense, in the natural zodiac, understand that Jupiter rules the ninth house of Sagittarius and the 12th house of Pisces. Both of those houses have to do with spirituality. So the ninth house has to do with Dharma, religion. It has to do with pujas, religious ceremonies, and more of the formal public religion. The 12th house has to do with more of private religion. So private spiritual guidance, ashrams, spiritual centers, monasteries, and also the astral bridge between our realities. Now, there's something important I want to bring up with this idea of being the ninth house and the 12th lord, which is very spiritual in nature. When we talk about earthly institutions, whether they be governments, whether they be corporations, whether they be just any type of, human construct, Jupiter is essentially a planet that will dissolve those earthly human structures. Okay. So ninth house is traditionally known as a career dissolver. So, for example, if a person was in a period of the ninth lord, they might retire, they might quit their job because it is 12th from 10th. So, the 12th house has to do with endings or retirement or resignations. The ninth house could be someone leaving their job. So, keep that in mind. The ninth lord, it's going into the sign of Aries. There's some sort of ending that's taking place on a world level. And let's not forget that Rahu is in the sign of Aries. So what Rahu's doing is Rahu is expanding and exaggerating that influence. So Rahu is just adding more fuel to this. Okay. So this is going to be a very intense period, especially when Jupiter goes, when it goes conjunct with Rahu, which is going to happen at the end of May. So that's going to be another difficult time. Now, when Dharma is being failed by earthly institutions, Jupiter has the power to erode and dissolve those institutions. So a lot of people have been saying, I've been hearing anecdotally a lot of people telling me, Thor, it does seem like the world's getting really crazy right now. You may have seen my last video, which talked about Kali Yuga. Now, also, there's this idea of as the Dharma, because of Kali Yuga, as Dharma's eroding, what Jupiter's going to do is Jupiter's going to erode those earthly institutions that are not living up to their purpose or living up to their Dharma. And so we could see a lot of difficulties during this time. So even things like banks, we've been following the financial situation, could be facing a lot of difficulty during this period. Now, the other thing I wanted to bring up was Jupiter is the 12th lord. So the 12th lord, like I said, it's associated with endings. It's the opposite. If you think about the first house represents birth, it represents your body. The last sign of the zodiac, the 12th house, has to do with endings, entering the astral bridge or entering the bardo, as they call it, the life between lives. That's all about 12th, what the 12th house is. The 12th house represents retirement, resigning, foreign lands, monasteries, ashrams, and it represents endings. Okay. Now, this is something very important about what's happening because Jupiter is going to be entering the sign of Aries. So Jupiter represents the astral blueprint of physical manifestation. Okay. So Jupiter is bringing in, if you want to think, the download of the new reality that's being brought in onto the planet right now. So Jupiter's bringing in that astral blueprint because it is the ninth and the 12th lord, and it's bringing that into the first house because things are first created on the astral and the etheric planes first, and then brought into physical manifestation. So that's what we're likely to see. We're likely going to see the physical manifestation during these next, especially 6 months. Well, Rahu is still in the sign of Aries with Jupiter. We're going to see the physical manifestation of this new reality being brought in. So that's why things appear to be so crazy right now. Now, remember, I talked to you that April 20th and April 21st, there's some really intense energy. So you want to mark that on your calendar. You also want to mark May 27th. So April 20th and 21st, like I said, there's a solar eclipse in Aries. This is just adding this mega intense energy. So we got Rahu, we got solar eclipse, we got Jupiter changing signs into Aries. It's like we're getting all of this fuel being added to the sign of Aries. Then we have Mercury retrograde, which could increase the misunderstandings and difficulty during this period, especially consider Mercury rules the sixth house, the house of conflict, the house of disagreement. So we could definitely see some really crazy events over April around those dates, or even May. Okay. Now, May, that's going to be when Jupiter goes conjunct with Aries. And remember, I'm telling you, Jupiter is like a dissolver. It's really good for us spiritually, but on a worldly level, Jupiter dissolves things, it ends things. Jupiter is concerned with Dharma. Jupiter is concerned about you living your dharmic purpose. It's not necessarily concerned about what the human five sense pleasure seeking, capabilities are. It's interested in your spiritual growth. And so Jupiter is the planet of, You know, you are a soul taking a journey here. You know, you're not the body, you're a soul in a body. So you're the soul that inhabits that body. So I do feel like we're going to be seeing some important karmic events this month, especially be careful around mid-month, mid-April here. And also May is looking like intense too. Basically, during this whole Gandanta period, we're going to see a lot of difficult situations arising. So even between now and May 5th. So take care of yourselves. I just wanted to give you a heads up on this important karmic period. I'm going to be making more videos about the solar eclipse that's coming up and the Mercury retrograde as well. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below. Let me know about more videos that you recommend that I should do. So thank you so much. And I will see you in the next one.